Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ann Nutter-Kaufman. I'm a manager in our teacher quality department at the National Education Association, and we are super excited that you could join us this evening for our next webinars in our series of technology webinars. I am going to be passing it off to our illustrious executive committee member, Shelley Moore-Krachasik, and she will be providing a welcome. Shelley?
Thank you, Anne. And thank you all for being here. It is my absolute pleasure to be with you today and for me to learn more about, oh, it says the wrong name on the title. That's hilarious. But anyways, to learn more, I'm Shelley, not Christine. Christine is lovely though. To learn more about leveling up your screencast. I'd like to start though today by honoring our ancestors and joining us all in a land acknowledgement. We begin today by acknowledging that wherever we are meeting in the lands served by America's first people. We honor the ancestors, past, present, and emerging. The place where I sit today was a land first served by the people of the Potawatomi. I honor their heritage and their future by saying their name. Today I honor the Potawatomi. So now let's dive into leveling up our screencast. So this webinar is one of our many ways to support our members, supporting the members of the National Education Association and helping you do the best you can by your students is one of our top priorities. We are excited that you are here with us today to do that. We want to remind you that NEA is not endorsing any particular product. In fact, some of you have probably been with us on many of our webinars to try a lot of different things. We just want to give you a taste of what's out there and to give you an opportunity to learn from the people who know best, your peers, colleagues in the classroom. So that's who we're meeting from today. So the people who are leading this, they're experts. They're doing this work every single day, teaching in our schools, away from students in remote spaces and in the challenges that you all are in, like I am as well. So we will be asking you to fill out a short evaluation form that at the end of this, it tells us some more things that you are interested in. But that is enough from me. Let's get into what matters. You know why this matters. This is part of the work of the NEA mission. So now let's talk about why this matters. First, I'd like to thank the NEA staff who's with us today. You've already heard from Anne. Also joining us are Jennifer and Andrea. I would like to honor the incredible members who are here with us. We've got Chris Thomas from the Michigan Education Association who will be monitoring your questions in your chat. And now, without further ado, the comedy duo of Kelly Newton and Kelsey Lafferty, who will be taking us through this amazing workshop. I am looking forward to the next hour. Ladies, take it away.
Thank you. So very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we have a webinar this evening. So you have webinar procedures. So everybody's usually muted, and your camera is usually muted as well. Please post all your big questions into the Q&A box for tonight. Okay. Use the chat feature for other comments or ideas, like chatting about voodoo donuts, for example. And please try to ask questions concisely. When there's several hundred people here, sometimes it's hard to answer them quickly if we have too many. We're happy to answer any questions at the end of the webinar or even after if we need to. And please make sure if we miss a question, ask it again. Sometimes the chat moves quickly, if that makes sense. All right. So Kelsey, would you like to start off with the introductions?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name's Kelsey Lafferty. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I teach alongside the fabulous Kelly Newton. She taught my students this afternoon science and STEM, and so lucky to be here with her. This is my 6th year with Ann Arbor, and I moved this year in the year of virtual teaching from 5th grade to 2nd grade. So I'm experiencing the fun of, new littler people and also teaching on Zoom. And so we will see, we might be back in person hybrid shortly. It's all kind of TBD right now, but happy to be here with you all. I love tweeting, so follow me on Twitter, tweet at me, I'll follow you back. And then something that I like to do for self-care is I love to go on walks with my dog. He is a little snuggler. And Kelly.
And I do love Kelsey's dog. Hi, I'm Kelly Newton. I also teach in Ann Arbor, Michigan, going into my 21st year of teaching. I spent my first 15 years of my career teaching in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and I've literally taught every grade level, so kindergarten through 5th grade, because I got bounced around a lot. After that, I switched up and became what we call a STEAM educator. So I teach science, technology, engineering, art, and math, specifically to pretty much all the kids at 2 elementary buildings in Ann Arbor, and I adore my job. Again, I tweet here and there. I don't tweet quite as much as Kelsey, but again, I do here and there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you're welcome to. You're also welcome to email me if you have any questions after the webinar, so just let me know. So we have learning targets for tonight.
Hi, everyone. So I was just distracted with Barbara's families from Ipsy.
Yay. Oh, hey, awesome. I taught in Ipsy at Estabrook for years. Anyway.
So tonight we're going to focus on these 3 main things: learning about screencasting, learning the different techniques of it. Kelly talks about some really great techniques. And then at the very end, we're going to compare several of our favorite tools, and hopefully you'll walk away with 1 or all 3 of these in your back pocket.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
All right, so here's our agenda. We're going to talk what is screencasting, our best practices for it. The tools we're going to talk about tonight mainly are Screencastify, Loom, and Screencast-O-Matic. And then we're going to talk about using our devices of iPad, iPhone, and Android. And then hopefully we'll leave some time for the Q&A. And if not, we know that we've got the Q&A in the chat, and I'll be monitoring that as well, along with Chris. So feel free to put your Q&A in the chat.
Okay.
All right, so our favorite things so far, emojis. Our 2nd graders love them. How are you feeling? 1 to 5. Feel out the emoji. I love math, so I like to be in between. Like I might be like sometimes I'm a 3.14 or 4.5 or, oh my God. It's Chris. I was like, another Ipsy person, Chris.
I know Chris lives in Ipsy.
Well, feel free to put in the chat what number you're at. There we go. There's some mathematicians in there using halves,
2.5 and pi, 3.14.
Yes. I know it was a longer day for me, so I was feeling all over the spectrum today. Yeah. Yes, Chris, same here. But when Kelly was teaching my class, I was a solid 5.
When I was teaching your class, yeah. And if you didn't gather that, Kelsey and I obviously work together in the same building.
Yes. In the same virtual Zoom for now.
Mm-hmm. It's always
all
fun.
Right. Lot of 2.99 repeating. I love it. Amazing. 4.4.
Bonus points to anyone who can do lots of places for pi. Let's see if anyone's out there.
And someone said they're a 6 because they had chocolate today. Amazing.
Oh, that's always good. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. We just like to see how everybody's feeling.
All right. And then I like to talk about the Triple E framework, who was designed by a researcher and professor at the University of Michigan. Her name's Liz Kolb, and she designed this tool in a really meaningful way to look at technology if it extends, enhances, or engages student learning. So when I had her both for undergrad and my grad classes, we looked at her rubric to see if the tech was meaningful. If not, she said, we could do the same thing on paper pencil. Well, that was pre-COVID, but so if it's not extending their learning, enhancing, or engaging it, we know that the tool is not right for our students. And so we were mindful of that. So all the tools that we go over tonight hit 1 or all of these E's. Mm-hmm. All right, we're talking about what is screencasting. And as a reminder, the webinar is being recorded.
Yes, so you know that. Yeah.
And it's not like that guy. Wait, Kelly, will you go back for a second?
Yeah,
I just think that picture is hilarious. A screencast is not that someone holding their phone recording it from your computer.
Yeah, please don't do that. That's generally not a great plan. So I like to do a little background on screencasting, and the specific term screencasting was coined by John Udell in 2004. And when you look at the slide deck, that's actually a link to John Udell's blog, and he has quite a lot of brilliant screencasting ideas. So it's something to check out if you have time later on. Okay. Screencasting is defined as the capture of all action on a computer screen while you, the teacher, are narrating. And we usually use screencasting to teach a lesson. And with COVID, it has a whole new meaning. There are many, many different ways you can use a screencast inside the classroom or outside of the classroom. And why should you incorporate screencasts in your lessons? I want you to consider that most of the kids that are sitting in your classroom, about 65% of them on average are visual learners, and about 30% of them are auditory learners. And a screencast usually hits both of those. So it's one of the reasons that we should think about it. High quality videos can inspire kids. They can persuade them. They can inform them. They can help kids capture an idea that might be hard for them to do without seeing some sort of video resource. It really does support kids who are auditory and visual learners, and it helps kids with diverse needs. So maybe if a kiddo can't necessarily understand something with a paper pencil task, a video can help. Okay. There are many different types of screencasts out there, not just instructional videos. You can use a video to give a kid feedback. I've done this in Seesaw about 1 million times, where I can actually make a little video, post it in their account, and give them a couple hints on something they could fix. You can use it as parent communication. I did that actually today with one of my students at my other elementary school. I had a parent who was having a problem with using one particular app in our district that was failing, and I made a quick video on how to fix the problem, sent it to her, and then the next time I saw her son, because some of my classes I see twice, it's all fixed and everything is running smoothly. You can also use it for professional development like we're doing it right now. I make videos all the time for other teachers in my building and my district. You can record a slides presentation. You can take your camera outside and do a virtual walking tour. Sometimes those are particularly fun right now when the kids don't get out and do very much. You can use one to explain a problem. You can have a lot of fun and make a stop motion film or an animation. You can make a reflection. You can walk kids through procedures for the classroom or routines for the classroom. And I make 1 million tech help videos for parents all the time. Most of these ideas are pulled from Matt Miller's Master the Screencast video link, which is actually at the bottom of this slide. And if you don't know Matt Miller, he is fabulous. He's the author of Ditch That Textbook and Tech Like a Pirate. And he made a whole bunch, he made a huge series of videos for Screencastify. So that is actually linked on this slide, and they're very helpful if Screencastify is the option you choose.
And I just put in the chat a reminder for people that join late, if they want to follow our slides like Kelly's talking about, and they're hyperlinked, it is in the chat again. All right, so we're going to talk more about some best practices for now that Kelly gave us a nice overview of screencasting.
And it's me again, yeah. So let's think about what makes a good video lesson, what makes a good screencast. A few things that I always have to keep in mind is to keep it short and only record what you need. Little kids in particular, and teenagers, I'm the mother of a 14-year-old, have a limited attention span, okay? So keep it concise. Minimize dead air. Try not to do one of the things, because that usually does not go over well. Be prepared. I highly encourage you to actually script out what you're going to say ahead of time, so that when you're ready to record, you know exactly what you're going to say. You'll have fewer hiccups along the way if you have a plan in place. A couple things to think about so that you're looking presentable on camera is make sure you position the camera above your eyes so that you look slightly up at it. For those of you who are over 45 like yours truly, that also helps with looking nice.
I do that too though, Kelly.
Lighting is also important, and make sure you have a little introduction at the beginning of the video and a conclusion at the end so the kids know when you're finished, okay? Try and make it engaging and fun. I usually use a lot of little clips from various places. Like I'm writing a first grade science lesson on sound right now, and I have a slow motion recording of a tuning fork hitting water and the splash. It's a big hit because that's very exciting to a small person. Since I can't do it in front of them, that's still pretty engaging even in a video. Don't always record in the same spot, especially as Kelsey knows, with little kids, sometimes that is exciting all by itself.
Correct.
Another thing that's hard for me to remember is to look right at the camera lens on your laptop computer or on your desktop computer. That for me, I'm a Mac user. That's the hole right up at the top. And I forget to do that all the time. I'm usually so focused on my Zoom window with all my kids in it. When they see me recording a video, they think I'm not talking to them. So looking at the camera lenses, this is a silly thing, but I actually have this tiny paper clip. I keep it on my laptop. So I remember to look at the camera. Okay, silly thing, but it makes a big difference. Lighting is also really helpful. We want the kids to actually be able to see your face. We call that instructor presence in a video. And if it's really dark, they can't see who you are, they can't see your personality, and it makes it a little harder for a kid to relate to you if they can't see you. Smile is always a good thing to do, but don't overdo it.
Yeah.
That also comes across sometimes in the movies. I've seen a few really hilarious ones on YouTube where the teacher's like, and they look more stricken than they're actually smiling. So make sure it's sincere would be another thing that you can do. So this is actually a rubric that I like to put in this screencast presentation, mainly because it's really brilliant. And this is written by Kathy Schrock. And Kathy Schrock has these beautiful tech guides all over the place if you've ever followed her before. And it gives you an idea about when your screencast is awesome and when your screencast needs to be redone. So if you've forgotten to write a script, or if your script is okay, but needs some tweaking. All of these things are some things that you can peek at and get yourself some hints about how to improve your own screencasting skills. Okay, and this is also linked in this slide deck. So it gives you an idea when it's okay, when it's really cool, and when it's absolutely fab, which is what we're looking for.
And now in the chat.
Couple other things. Now, if you are using your phone, which a lot of us do, especially for walking tours and certain types of screencasts, make sure you're recording horizontally. Okay, vertical videos are small and look less appealing, in my opinion. If you want to use your phone to do a science experiment, a math problem, you name it, I also recommend that you have some sort of stand or some sort of tripod to hold it steady so that we don't get the jiggling bad effect of a moving camera, which is hard on some kids' eyes. One that I happen to like is the Tight Grip One GorillaPod stand, which is this guy right here. It's also linked there. You can wrap the little legs around anything, anywhere, and it will stay still and record your video. And it's really, really wonderful if you're one of the people that uses your phone to create your screencasts. A couple other things, if you're using your phone, because not everybody has a fancy camera or a fancy device. These are some neat ideas that I found online about how to make your videos with your phone just using a simple stand. Now, Grayson McKenney has one that he built with Connects, and I'm an engineering teacher and I love Connects, so I think that's super fun. But if you look, he has his little stand built with his iPad up top, and then he actually uses dry erase markers and writes right on his table and erases it. I think that's kind of brilliant and in its simplicity. I've seen other teachers do the same thing with a shoe rack or a closet organizer. Usually I call that a shoe rack, and you put the whole of your camera right between the two slots. You can also do it with a good old-fashioned cardboard box and a hole in the cardboard box. So all of these are inexpensive ways that you can create a simple stand, use your iPad or your phone, and make a handy dandy video for your kids.
And that's a nice seesaw recording area too, if you're a big seesaw user in the classroom. A little cardboard area.
Yeah, that's for the sound. Yes. Okay. Webcams. Now, some people like to get a fancy extra webcam to record a screencast with. What I would tell you is it's unnecessary. Most users already have a more than adequate webcam right in your laptop. So I do not buy extra materials or extra cameras when I make my recordings. I'm just using my laptop. My Mac has got a brilliant camera in it, and I don't see the need to buy a $200 camera in addition to it. However, not everybody has a laptop with a camera in it, and not everybody wants the same quality video. It depends on what you're trying to do. So here, this is a linked article of the best webcams of 2020. And again, certain ones are more powerful than others, but again, you choose what you need them for. And this article is super handy in making a decision about what cam you might need to use.
All right, so we're going to move into our favorite tools, Screencastify. I used it a lot since March. It is one of my faves, and now I've added to my fave list, but Screencastify had my heart from March 13th, I think, when we shut down the last day we've been in person. So this is what Screencastify looks like. It is a tool that you can record your screen yourself, just a browser tab. You can do it with or without an embedded webcam. Like Kelly was saying, the students love to see you. So I always have my webcam on so they can see me rather than just watching just the screen over and over again. But I really like having the webcam on. You can turn the microphone on and off. And the best part is it is free. The time limit is 5 minutes, but we know that mini lessons, often we want to keep short and concise, like Kelly was saying earlier with the best practices. And my favorite thing is that it goes right to Google Drive. You can upload it to YouTube as an MP4, but I love to organize my things on Google Drive. I think it's the millennial in me that doesn't like any paper. I don't like all the documents on my, my desktop. So I love just everything in Google Drive. So that's what I really like about Screencastify. I recorded poems the other day and sent them on to Kelly using this tool. So I did use it just the other day. And you can do a $29 paid unlimited videos for teachers, but I have not found the need to do it. I just use the free version. All right, and there is a Google Chrome extension. That's the best part as well. I do have it. I believe all three that we're talking about, Kelly, have Google Chrome extensions. So yep. Just plugging that now. And then this is just showing you more of how to record. When you go in those three lines, you can go to your previous recordings. You can view your subscription. You're able to edit your recordings and crop them down if you started kind of fumbly or ended, and you just want to make it a little more concise. I think it's just a really user-friendly tool. And of course, you hit the blue record button, really easy to toggle the microphone on and off, the webcam on and off. All right, so to get the Chrome extension, so we know all three of them have it. Kelly recorded a nice quick video. You're gonna go right into the Chrome store. So Kelly's modeling how to search that for us. You're gonna go into extensions and you're gonna just type in Screencastify. So that's what she's doing here. She's just searching it. And remember, if you're not able to see this, you can always view it later. Then you're gonna click the blue Add to Chrome button and then click Add Extension. And all you have to do is sign into your Gmail account if you're a Google user and get started. So the best part is that it pops up right on the side like Kelly showed, and I'm able to just click the Screencastify icon whenever I want to record.
And hey, that was a screencast right there.
And it will tell you if you have, unsaved or recordings that are not downloaded or not saved when you sign in. So be aware of that.
Cool.
So wonderful screencast about Screencastify. All right, this is telling you if Screencastify is compatible with your device, basically everything but our phones. So we are not able to use Screencastify on iPhones or Androids, but all other computers, tablets, etc. it is compatible with. And like I was telling you earlier, connecting to Google Drive saves my millennial life. And feel free to watch that video later if you need some help connecting it to Google Drive, because I think it's so handy.
Yeah, it's pretty wonderful, especially if you're a Google district. So
Yes, which we are.
and then this is just a quick example. I don't know if you want to see one.
Let's do it.
This is just a quick example from I Teach Programming. And this is me guiding my little ones through the code.org self-paced course.
For code.org, we had a little problem last week, so I redid it. So I want you to
Because we all
follow
have
the
to do that
steps and then
sometimes.
go ahead and start your self-paced code.org lesson. So we are going to log into Clever like you normally would with your badge. And once you've done that, I want you to click on the code.org icon.
And I'm doing this on the top of a slide deck.
After that,
you see that,
you should be taken to course B, and you should click on the Try Now button, okay? After that, you're going to watch this quick video, and when you're done, you're going to press the orange continue button.
and I think y'all get the idea. So that's what it looks like. You're going to notice Screencastify has the little rectangular camera in the corner, and you can move that around if you need to.
And Kelly, Miss D did ask a question, but now mentioned done. Was that Miss D, was that answered? Or I guess we can bring it up to everybody. Mentioned that when she recorded on Screencastify and moved through the tabs, it only recorded the one tab. And so I'm guessing when she recorded, she clicked tab instead of desktop.
Hop over, yeah, and let's go back over. Let's go over this really quickly. If that happened, you're mostly likely had this part highlighted when you were recording. Make sure, for me, because I forget sometimes and I move between tabs a lot, I almost always record my whole desktop. And when I record my whole desktop, that's everything on my screen. That can be a bad thing. Like, you don't necessarily want to show your kids your email tab. You don't necessarily want to show them your Google Drive tab. You want to just show them a slide deck. Then you might choose the browser tab option. If you want to show everything on your desktop, you would choose here. If you just want to record your face, you would just use the webcam option. And then, guys, always make sure your mic is turned on. You have several choices, and then your webcam is on when you're making recordings, because if you forget to make these two selections, sometimes we have problems, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And did you see any other questions, Ms. Lafferty? Are we good?
No, that was it. Thank you for going back.
Yeah, sure. Let me hop back up to, I think we already watched this example, so I'm going to advance past it. Come on, slide deck. Let's cooperate. There we go.
All right, we are going to talk about another one of our favorites, Loom. Very similar, but you'll notice the video feature where Kelly was a rectangle, maybe a little bit different on this one.
Yeah. And Loom, this is one I like, okay, is another Chrome extension. So it's very similar to Screencastify in how it looks and how it works. Again, just as we mentioned in Screencastify, you can do your screen and your camera, just your screen or just your camera. You can do the full desktop or just a tab. And then again, make sure your audio is turned on. It should be green. And then you really just click start recording. Perk with Loom is it's free for educators. There is no time limit on it. And you can get additional paid options if you want to add all the fancy bells and whistles that come along with Loom. Loom, again, is the same idea. This is just me walking you through. This is another screencast of how to go to the Chrome Web Store and how to get the Loom Chrome extension. So again, same process as last time. If you go to the Chrome Web Store and you search for Loom, it will pull up Loom for Chrome. And you're going to add that as a Chrome extension to your computer. And you're going to find that it's really simple to use and very similar to what Kelsey just mentioned with Screencastify. And again, sign in with Google or sign in with your particular account. You can sign up with Apple, you can sign up with Slack. It depends on what your district uses. And there's a very weird face. I'm looking at that one. So anyway, same process, different app. compatibility with Loom. So Loom runs either as a Chrome extension or a desktop app, okay? It runs on Windows, it runs on Mac OS, it runs on iOS. It's pretty happy in Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Edge, but make sure that you're keeping these updated. It is not happy on Internet Explorer. So I would warn you, if you use Internet Explorer, which is not too many people these days, Loom and Internet Explorer they're not friends. They don't get along very well, okay? And this is just another quick example, and I wanted you to see the difference. The camera is circular this time. You can pick it up and drag it anywhere you want it on the screen. The three little dots, which are hiding right down here, if you tap them, you can take away the camera completely. You can make it bigger or smaller. If you want to stop the video and delete it completely, you hit the X. You can pause while you're recording, and if you're happy with your recording, you click the little check mark here, and I'll show you. This is a very short video for you.
So very quickly, to get into a screen like this, for example, you can put the windows together and I can
split screening on a
again.
Chromebook.
I want to hit Alt in a bracket and make it small, and then I can pull off the other window and put it right next door. Okay. Again, at any time, if I want to change how that looks, I can click right here and make it full screen or restore it to that split screen view. I hope that's helpful. I'll drop this into a little video for all of you.
Pretty easy peasy. So you can see the difference. But again,
Hi guys, I'm going to show you how
it looks pretty similar.
Kelly, people asked about how we can move the camera. Kelly means the little circle that shows her face.
Right. Yeah.
She could drag that to any of the corners of the screen. She can move it around.
I can hop into my account very quickly. And, well, hang on one second. Hop out of there and get into Loom.
And as you can see, Kelly and I we both love them, but we have our favorites.
Yeah.
But you can see Kelly's got her circle in the left corner.
There we go. Let me put these away. There we go. So I am trying to show you one of my videos. Well, I'm having a little bump here. Let me put that away and try that one more time. I'm sorry. There we go. And if I go into one, like if I start playing it, you can actually pick up this circle. So if you want to share your screen and drag it to any place on the screen, so you can pick it up and move it if you want it to be in a different location. I can like turn on Loom right now in Zoom, and then I'll let you see what it looks like. So if I start a recording, you have to choose what I'm recording. It's going to give you the countdown like it always does, but you can indeed pick up the camera as soon as it lets me, and I can move it around on the screen, put it anywhere I want. I can make it bigger. Like, I don't know why I would want it that big, but you can. I can make it go completely away and click the X and make it vanish as well. So all of those things are options that you can use. And I think it's pretty fandy. I like it. I use it all the time. And then I'm going to hop back into my slides here. And Miss Lafferty, are we okay? Can we see my slides okay?
Loading.
It's coming. But whenever I hop into one and leave one, it takes a second. There it goes.
We do have a question though about switching tabs when we're recording.
You can do that if you choose desktop. So you have to choose desktop, and all you would do, just like I was doing in this video, like I hop in to a couple tabs.
Split screen, so very quickly.
As soon as you tap them, it switch right with you. It shouldn't be any problem at all. So I'm using two tabs in that video right there.
Again, I want to hit Alt in a bracket and make it
I
small.
think they were saying that there was a box coming up.
Did you say it again?
I think they were saying there was a box coming up. But I don't think if you click
the stop recording box. Yeah, there's a little blue box at the bottom of the screen, and if you have an emergency or you need to quit, you can click on the blue box to get out. But once you actually start recording, all you have to do is just click on the second tab, move back and forth between them.
Fabulous. And Heather wants to know the advantage over Loom and Screencastify. Since we're torn, Kelly, love them both. What would you say the advantage of yours is, Kelly?
Mine has no limit. So Screencastify has that 5-minute limit. Loom does not. You can record a 12-minute video if you want to, if you're an educator, and educators get a free account with no limit on it. I think that's kind of a big one. What do you think, Ms. Lafferty?
And now I've been loving the third example too, though. So
Oh, Screencast-O-Matic. Yeah.
Screencast-O-Matic also has my heart. So
That one has some nice editing tools, I'd say. So yeah,
does Loom automatically save to Google Drive, Kelly?
you have to download it and then upload it into Google Drive. You can, but you do
why
have to do that.
We're asking. I think that's why it didn't steal my heart originally. My millennial self wanted it done immediately. I'm sorry, instant gratification.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Any other questions or should I wait?
You are good to move on.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi guys, I want to show
All
you
right.
how to.
Sorry. Every time I advance, my video plays again. Don't know what that is. Come on. There we go.
All right. And then this is the third one we're going to talk about, Screencast-O-Matic. We have started using this with our district this year.
And Screencast-O-Matic, again, I think Kelsey and I both started screencasting when we first got sent home, which was last March, and the district hadn't purchased a subscription. And then this year, they purchased a subscription, the premium version of Screencast-O-Matic. So one of the things I would tell you to do is check in your district first and see if they already bought something for your teachers, because some districts have done that and some districts have not. And then you need to make a decision based on finances, okay? I am cheap and I like to get things free because, hey, I'm a public school teacher and I don't make $4 billion a year. So I like Loom because it's free and they give that special perk to public school teachers, which is kind of nice. Screencast-O-Matic has a nice version as well. It has a good free version. You still can get a free teacher account, but they have that 15-minute cap this time, just like Screencast-O-Matic has a 5-minute cap. Screencast-O-Matic for Kelsey does go directly to Google Drive. You can download it. You can save it as an MP4. You can have unlimited videos for $18 a year, which was pretty cheap too, if you think about all that you get with it. Screencast-O-Matic runs on Macs, it runs on Chromebooks, it runs on Windows, and it runs on iOS, Android devices. So it's pretty widespread, easy to use on most devices. However, this one I think is a little bit more to learn, if that makes sense. Similar features, again, you can record your whole screen. You can just record your camera, which would just be your face, or both. So you can have the screen and you. This one, you can have unlimited amounts of time if you purchase the Premier membership. If you have the free version, it caps it at 15 minutes. You can choose the file size or how high quality video you want it to look like, how nice you want it to look like. You can choose here. You can add narration. You can add computer sound. If you click on preferences, you get a few other bells and whistles. You can do music in Screencastify, which you can't always do in the other ones that can play underneath. You can edit within. You can zoom in and out while you're recording with this one, which is kind of a nice perk. Again, you can write right onto the screen as well. And your special settings would be right here in the gear. To record would be here. And you're going to see once you go inside it, there's this little black and white bar, and you have to drag that over the area you want recorded when you're in Screencast-O-Matic, if that makes sense. And again, guys, if you're curious about this, the pricing information is linked right there on the slide for you and your district to consider.
And Kelly, you would know this better than me. Are all of these compatible with Teams? I'm not very familiar with.
Oh, with Microsoft Teams?
Yeah.
They should all work with Teams, yes. And then just like with Zoom or with any other Meet, Teams, anything else, you might find there's a little lag if you're making a screencast within, like you probably just saw when I was trying to show it how slow it is. There's a little lag when you're recording within a live meeting. So I would encourage you, if you're going to make a screencast, to do it ahead of time and then play it within the meeting. When you play the video within the meeting, it goes better. When you actually record in a meeting, I find there's often a lag, which is kind of irksome sometimes to kids because they don't always, well, at least if I teach little kids, I teach elementary school kids, they're not always real patient with that sometimes, would be my warning. I'm sure there's a few people nodding their head. If you're an elementary teacher, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The high school kids, the bigger kids are a little more patient with that because they understand that technology sometimes is a challenge. Let's say it that way. For Screencast-O-Matic, and sorry, I feel like I'm talking 400 miles an hour. Again, this one you can click, go to the web page, screencast-o-matic.com. You can click on Start Recording for free. And you'll be taken right to the recorder page, and you can click right on Launch Screen Recorder and just kind of practice with it for free. It doesn't cost anything to do that. A little pop-up will appear. It looks just like this guy right here that says the recorder is being launched. And then within about 2 seconds, you can actually start your first movie. And it did. Also, you can grab a Chrome extension for this one too. Again, same process as the last time. I'm going to run this without sound because you can hear my dog sneezing in the background, which you don't want to hear. Again, you're going to go to the Chrome Web Store. You're going to search for Screencast-O-Matic, and you're going to add that as a Chrome extension to your computer. The same process as with the other two. Okay. And you're going to find I have all three
I was going
on
to
my
say,
computer.
Kelly, you can see she has a lot of Chrome extensions.
I have a lot of extensions. That's actually something I would warn you against because that's usually a bad practice. I'm quite literally married to the Ann Arbor Public Schools help desk. Yeah. So try not to have too many extensions. It sometimes causes problems with Chrome. I turn them off when I'm not using them. It does help. Here is a quick example of what Screencast-O-Matic looks like. So this is me talking about Seesaw, which is another love of mine. And I'll keep myself muted, but you're going to see this. The camera is very similar to the one in Screencastify. So we have that rectangular camera again. To add an activity, you've got the nice little cursor there. And assign activity. And this will walk you through the whole process of how to add an activity in Seesaw. Not that you really want to learn that part, but the cursor is kind of a nice little perk. All of them usually have something that lights up that draws the attention of the students to where you are on the screen. And this one has a nice couple extra perks. You can change how that looks. You can make it bigger or smaller. But just so you have an idea about what it looks like once you're inside it. Here we go.
And Kelly, a couple things that came up. You briefly said it. I put in the chat for people to choose one of these three to test out and master first, not all
Yeah.
three.
Don't do all three. I just like to give you options because some districts are very strict on what you're allowed to use and what you're not allowed to use. So we wanted to give you several choices. There's a lot more out there than even these three as well. And there's so many, sometimes it's a little overwhelming.
Yes.
So we didn't want to do like 50 different possibilities because that's just too much in my opinion.
Yeah. And in the Q&A, a couple people asked, obviously we would use this for asynchronous days. Some people asked, do we use it synchronously? And I said, you know what, Kelly screen recorded for my students last week and, did experiments, or, you can do a lot of hands-on recording ahead of time. So I said, yes, we do use it synchronously as well as, of course, asynchronously.
I use it for both. Absolutely. Particularly like we've been, our school district has been home since last March. So we've been home almost a whole school year now. So pretty much I have so many videos, it's not even funny at this point. I have a video and I teach science and engineering. So I have videos on how to do an experiment because they can't see it. They're not all together. So I have to do it so they can see it in one way or another. I teach coding to first graders. So I literally have to walk them through how to do that. And that's not just a lesson, it's also a tech tool. So we have to have how to do that. That takes several steps. I use it constantly. I can't believe how many videos I've made in the last year. Hundreds and hundreds of them. Wish I was kidding, I'm not.
So yes, you can use it for all of the above.
Mm-hmm. And you can get creative with them. I've been watching YouTube lately, and there are some of these people have made these gorgeous screencasts of these digital slide decks that fly by, and they have these little stopping points where the kids pop in and interact. And then, very fancy. You can take it to a level that you wouldn't believe in probably just a few months of practice.
All right, we are going to talk about using the different devices, iPads, iPhones, and Androids, because we know a lot of those tools were not user-friendly for them. So here are some ways you can screen record on your phones.
Mm-hmm. So recording your screen, say maybe you want to use an iPad or your iPhone or maybe your Droid device. It's different on the Droid than it is on Mac, for the record. But if you go to settings to the control center and you customize your controls and hop over to where it says screen recording, you can swipe up from the bottom of any screen, pretty much an iPhone 10 or later, or an iPad with the iOS of 12 or later. You can, if it's swipe up and tap on the screen recorder. And if you hold on to it, you can tap the mic and you can actually record yourself talking over recording that iPad or telephone screen, which is super fun and super handy, especially if your kids are using iPads, like our first graders, our kindergartners, our young fivers all have iPads. Our older kids have Chromebooks. So I usually make a screencast for each device because it looks different to the kids, if that makes sense. This handy dandy little video, let's see how we're doing. Do we have enough time, Ms. Lafferty?
Yeah, I think so.
This is wonderful. This is right from Apple, and it's how to record your screen on your phone or your iPad or your iPod Touch, even if you have one of those.
And it's so easy to download. The first time we did this presentation, I downloaded it as she was showing this video. I'm like, this is so great.
Yeah. Oh, for heaven's sakes, play. Come on. There it goes.
Exactly what's happening on your iPhone or iPad screen right from your device. Here's how. To start, you'll need to add the screen recording control to Control Center. To do this, tap Settings, tap Control Center, Customize Controls, then tap the Add icon next to the screen recording control. Now, swipe up from the bottom of your screen to find the screen recording control in Control Center. And when you're ready to record, you can tap or press deeply on the screen recording control. When you press deeply, you'll have the option to turn on your microphone. You may also see the option to broadcast through a third-party app. When you've made your selections, tap Start Recording. Just a heads up, some apps may also record system sound. The status bar will turn red to indicate a recording is in progress, although it may disappear when you're using some apps. If it does disappear, don't worry, you're still recording. You can always check this in Control Center. Ready to stop recording? Just tap the status bar if you see it. Or return to Control Center and tap the screen recording control again. When you're done, you can find the video of your screen recording in Photos. And now you can edit and share your screen recording. For more helpful tips like this, subscribe to the Apple.
And it is that easy, and I think it's fabulous, especially if your students are using iPads. Yeah.
I put in the chat, I said, I've got some non-tech friendly family that I have to teach how to use apps or things all the time and actually screen record. I'm like, here's how to open your messages, and I just do it right on my phone. So you can use it for work or for family, teaching them how to use their devices.
Yeah. And I think they're wonderful and really, really easy to use. Same thing on an iPhone. Make sure you enable, like they just did in that little video clip, the screen recorder. It looks like this. It's red and white on an iPad. And you can literally record anything on the phone, any app that you're using, any photo camera, whatever you need to do. And you don't need a scanner or anything else. You can just click on that. And then once you're finished, it'll save it to your photos or your videos. And it's super duper handy. You can really record just about anything with it. For those of you who are Android users, Android 11 has a native ability to record your phone screen now. You have to add it to your phone's quick settings menu, okay? And to do that, swipe down twice on the notification shade, like in the picture here. Next, tap Edit, and then in the bottom left-hand corner, that should be down at the bottom. If you locate the screen recorder tile, drag it over into the quick settings area, okay, and then tap the back arrow or swipe from the edge to record your screen and to save the change. And this actually has your steps right there. And here is a link if you're a Droid user on how to do that as well.
All right, and we are about to get to the Q&A. We're just going to show you some resources ahead of time where you can go and look at more videos, more articles, etc. on your free time before we get to our Q&A.
Yeah, and I wanted just to show you at the end of the slide deck, there are a bunch of links that are super duper resources for you. The best screencasting tools for classroom from Common Sense Media is hyperlinked here. Common Sense Media, if you've never looked at before, is wonderful. It's a wonderful tool. It gives you all kinds of resources as a classroom teacher at any level, from K to 12. They even have resources for college level professors, etc. on what tools should be used for what age levels and which ones are recorded or rated the best by users. And if you're worried about how easy it is to learn something or how hard it is, that's a great place to go look for reviews to see maybe this isn't one for me, maybe this one is one for me. That's a great place to start. That's linked. Kathy Schrock's guide for screencasting. Kathy Schrock, again, is another educator. She has built these huge compendiums, I'd say, on all different sorts of tech. If you've never heard of her, she's done this for years now. And this one is specifically about screencasting. She has lots more on other topics as well. So she's somebody to check out. Screencasting to Engage Learning by Michael Ruffini. This one's another really great article if you want to check that out. And the best screencasting software for teachers 2020. That's from HP. So of course it's sponsored, so they have a little bias, but another option to look at if you're just trying to do some homework or some research. And these are some video links. Again, Screencasting 101 for the classroom. That's another video, and this one is specifically screencasting resources from Screencastify. They have a huge bank of educator resources linked right there whenever you pop into that account. Even if you don't end up purchasing it, you can still look at some of the resources, and they're pretty great. I would say exceptional on a few of them. This one is your screen recorder. This one's for Loom. Loom also has a very large bank of resources for teachers, and Lauren Cunningham works for Loom, and she has a whole series of videos that you can pop in and watch. These are a couple that are linked right here, made with Loom. Screencast-O-Matic also has a huge bank of videos on how to do things, and that's also free. This is right on their website. If you click on the education tab, all of these videos are available to you if you're a public school teacher or a private school teacher.
That's why we love these tools.
That's the video we showed you earlier, but it's always there just because I think it's fabulous.
And we have several people that have asked, oh, I missed the beginning, or, you know, my internet cut out. Please click on the link I've put several times in the chat. We have made a copy of this presentation just for the NEA. So this is for you to go back and say, what was that tool Kelly said, or what was that thing Kelsey said? So feel free to make a copy of these slides so you're able to use it. Jennifer just put it in the chat again.
Thank you.
Please. And then also I will be putting the exit ticket in there. And Jennifer also said that you can go on the NEA website to for directions for securing your certificate of attendance. And Anne, I think this is
Anne, we're right on time. I'm so excited.
I'm impressed, ladies. That was very helpful, being right on time.
right.
Yes, great. So thank you all so much for all of your knowledge. I certainly learned a lot in my very amateur ways of trying to screencast. Hopefully that will take it up to the next level for me. And I'm going to pass it back to Shelly. Shelly?
Thank you. Seriously. So I was right when I said the comedy duo of Kelly and Kelsey. Entirely true. I thank you in advance for the thousands of hours of fun I'm going to have making completely condescending screencasts for my brother who works in tech. That is going to be my favorite part of applying this. And using it for my students. I don't know about everyone else, but I totally have the Bitly open and I'm working. I had to keep coming back. I was like, oh crap, I got behind. I got focused on this thing. I got to go back to you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. It just continues to reinforce that turns out educators know best. We do know how to do our job and we're going to do it. So thank you so much for all of your incredible work, for all that we learned from you. This was awesome. Seriously, it was so much fun and I learned so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We hope you all have a great night.
Absolutely. Please be sure to fill out the exit ticket before you leave. That information definitely impacts how we move forward and what kind of offerings we have in the future. So please take a few minutes and fill that out. I will also reiterate that if you are wanting to see the recording again and or receive professional development credit, you can go to www.nea.org/webinars and the information will be there. You need to give us a few days. It will not be up there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, man.
I know we're slackers. What can I say? But later this week, probably Thursday or Friday, it will definitely be up. So be sure to go there. There will be directions there for how you can print out a certificate if you do need to obtain a certificate. So for the rest of the time, the 3 whole minutes, we're done early. I think this is the first time we've done like on time. This makes me happy.
You tell us 7:55. We do 7:55.
Yes.
On it. So if you would like to stick around, I know Kelsey and Kelly are happy to continue to answer questions and we will keep recording for a little while just to record the questions for perpetuity. So otherwise, have a great evening and we will see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for coming, everybody. So Kelly, I think I did a pretty decent job answering questions in the Q&A, but
did I miss any?
Amber wants to know which one of these would be the best to embed questions in it. Which tool would we recommend?
For me, if I wanted to embed a question in a video, I might record the video and then I would drop it personally into Edpuzzle and then embed questions in an Edpuzzle. If you ever have looked at Edpuzzle, that's a tool. It's again free for educators that you can drop any video in and then it will stop it and actually force the kids to stop and answer any kind of question you might want them to engage in. That's probably what I would use.
Chat too. There we go.
Edpuzzle's really cool, but that would be like a whole hour session all by itself as a warning ahead of time.
Yes. Scott just said I use Edpuzzle all the time. Works great. So
it does, and it's really, really wonderful.
Yes.
Especially if you have older kids. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you all. We appreciate you coming on this Monday.
Yeah. And thank you for being here. If there are any other questions, so please let us know because we're going to hang out for a few minutes anyway.
Ooh, Scott said to add a question at the very end to make sure they watch it, though. That's his.
Yes. Agreed.
I do that with my voicemails that I'll leave my fiance. I leave a code word at the very end to make sure he listens. It's like the same thing. If I'm rambling, I'll be like, and the code word is asparagus.
So there's a question about the certificate area. Again, to obtain the certificate, we have to put up the recordings, which are not there yet. There's actually directions on how to access that. So you will need to wait until the end of the week to be able to obtain the certificate. And Jen just wrote that.
She's rapid fast.
She's speedy.
She's on it.
Yeah.
All
Any
right.
non-certificate questions?
How will we access the recording? That will be on nea.org/webinars.
Not at on Thursday. Yes.
Not at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Ooh, see, millennials, right? Right. That's, Alexander, I'm a millennial and I love to ramble. And right, you gotta draw them in. Do the code word asparagus or octopus or something.
Yeah, I'm an Xer. Generation Xer, yes. So I let Kelsey do the millennial things.
Ooh, Alexander's an Xer too.
Yay!
Hashtag Gen X. Amazing. Well,
And
I hope your brother doesn't give millennials a bad rep, because I rep millennials pretty hard.
I see someone's hands raised, and I know there's been hands raised off and on the whole time. So if you didn't get your question answered, be sure to put it in the chat. We're in a webinar format, so it's
I
more
can't see
difficult.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more difficult to do that.
I love it, Tina. Thanks for coming. Ann Arbor representing.
Tina, hi Tina.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions, all right. You do that little teacher wait time thing.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
No, we can't hear you, but we appreciate you yelling hi back, Tina.
Yes, thanks, Tina.
We will see you on Zoom on Wednesday, or I will. Kelly might see you tomorrow.
I have to go to my other staff meeting. Yeah, next.
Ah.
All right.
I have 2 schools. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, bye, guys. Thank you.
So much for having us.
Bye-bye.